Hello, gentlemen. I'm Kevin Cartwright with Fashion Sense. Thank you for joining me. I wanted to take a moment to share a brief tutorial on facial care and shaving. One of the challenges that men of color encounter is simply with ingrown hairs. Ingrown hairs can be very uncomfortable and at times unsightly. So I want to talk to you about how to manage those. Fortunately, I don't encounter them that much because I have sensitive skin and I care for my skin as such. However, what happens with ingrown hairs is that when we shave using these multi-blade razors, the unfortunate thing is that men of color, we have very coarse hair. So when we use those razors, we actually pull the hairs up, out, and away from the skin. And these blades typically have 3, 4, or 5 blades. So once they pull the hairs away from the skin, cut them, they actually retract back into the skin. So when those hairs start to grow back, they may not necessarily grow directly back through that hair follicle. So what they do, they actually start to grow up under the skin and literally start to cause a bump, which is that hair curled up under the skin. What happens is that they become very uncomfortable and painful. So we oftentimes scratch that area, which makes it even worse because it causes irritation up under the skin. And then we get to a point where we have to shave. So when we shave over that area, it breaks the skin, the hair is exposed, and then you have an open wound. So they heal with a scab, and then over a period of time, you'll have them all over your face, which can be very uncomfortable and unsightly. So what I personally do, because my skin is very sensitive, I use something called Magic Shave. Magic Shave is a depilatory, which simply means a cream to remove hair. It works exceptionally well for me, and it's rare that I encounter ingrown hairs. You simply spread the shaving cream on your face and let it sit for about 4 to 6 minutes. And after that, you simply take a dull object, a butter knife or a spatula or something like that. Interestingly for me, I use actually a dull fillet knife. And I use a fillet knife simply because it gives me a very, very close shave. It feels as if I've used a razor, and I don't have to worry about having those or experiencing those ingrown hairs. And what I do, I shave literally about 2 times a week. Once I shave, it gives me about a good 3 to possibly 4 days of shaving. So I just want to share that with some of the guys who experience a lot of ingrown hairs. I've been using a Magic Shave for roughly 25 years. And this is in no way an endorsement of this product. I'm simply sharing it because it's what works for me. When I first started using Magic Shave, it actually came in a can. Came in a can that you actually had to mix up with water. It had a really foul smell to it. But thank goodness they've improved the product over many years. But again, when you encounter those hair bumps up under your skin, I recommend using a very, very small needle, a very small pin needle, and actually lay it perpendicular to the skin and actually slide it through that bump and just pull it out. And it'll relieve your face, relieve you from that pain, and it'll expose that hair, and then you can actually shave. So that's something you can do for those ingrown hairs when you have them, and that'll kind of keep down the infection and the scarring on your face. So as I shared, I simply spread the Magic Shave on my face, let it sit for approximately 4 to 6 minutes. And after that, time is up, I'll simply take my fillet knife, which I said is relatively dull, but it does allow me to get a very, very smooth shave. So I simply just lay it on my face and then just wipe away. And what you can actually see dead skin as well as the hairs. And the good thing about it is that you really don't have to worry about experiencing ingrown hairs. So this works really, really good for me. And I do this about 2 times a week. So I recommend this to any men of color who actually have a problem with ingrown hairs. You don't have to worry about exposing yourself to a razor blade and even less ingrown hairs, which can really be uncomfortable. And if you don't manage them well, they can also get infected. So, not sure if you can see that well. There you go. And I'll simply just take some warm water, wash my face off. And as you can see, my face is very smooth, baby butt smooth, and I like that. So I'll simply just wash my face with some warm water, and I'll also come behind the rinse with something called Hibiclens, which is an antimicrobial bacterial cleanser. It really cleans really well. They actually use this in a hospital setting when they're performing surgery. So I'll simply wash my face with the Hibiclens, and then I'll come back after that with a very soft moisturizing soap. Oftentimes I'll use Dove and pat my face dry and then use a moisturizing cream. So there you have it. Again, for any of the men of color out there who encounter problems with ingrown hairs, or you simply want to try and get away from utilizing a razor, most importantly, you got to treat those ingrown hairs. When you experience them, try using a very, very thin, a very small needle. Lay it perpendicular to the skin, expose that hair, and then you can shave. But doing this on a regular basis will definitely help you to better treat and have a clean and healthy shave. Thank you for spending these few moments with me. I'm Kevin Cartwright with Fashion Sense. Hope you have a clean and healthy shave.